What's up, everyone? Today is May 28th, 2024. My name is Derek. Welcome back. Hope everyone had a good Memorial Day weekend. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the death of pro golfer Grayson Murray, who reportedly committed suicide at the age of 30. Now, this is a rather unusual story. Grayson Murray must have been plagued with many demons, as one minute he's walking around a golf course in beautiful weather. This guy's a two-time tournament winner, even won a tournament earlier this year, and just hours after withdrawing from the tournament, he reportedly killed himself at the age of 30. Now, this story doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but what does make sense is the synchronicity and associated numerology around this story. And as always, the key component of numerology, Gematria, the number lettering system of the English language. We start off with the base 4 ciphers, where the alphabet is simply ordered 1 through 26 or reduced using the rules of numerology. And we will also glance at the extended methods of Gematria, which once again provide much larger numbers but leave less room for coincidence. So let's understand the synchronicity of this death. Now, it just so happens that the very last video I made on this channel was on the death of Super Size Me creator Morgan Spurlock, whose death made the news on May 24th. And the same day I made my video on Morgan Spurlock, we then found out about the death of Grayson Murray. Now, what makes this so interesting? Well, as I showed in this video, the letter M is very important. We'll talk about that more as we go. However, on the same date that Grayson Murray died, May 25th, WWE held an event in Saudi Arabia called King and Queen of the Ring. And at this event, there was one title change. Women's wrestler Liv Morgan challenged for the Women's World Championship and defeated Becky Lynch, capturing her second world title. And, of course, her name, Liv Morgan, matching Morgan Spurlock. Down in the description below, you'll find a link to a video I made in 2022, which talked about the connection of Liv Morgan, who won her first Women's World Championship the same weekend that the Liv Golf Tour visited the United States for the first time. So Grayson Murray was a golfer on the PGA Tour. But the PGA Tour is just one of 2 major golf tours running right now, with the other one called Liv Golf. So I've been talking about this connection with Liv Golf and Liv Morgan for a couple of years. And in this video, you're going to see how some of the same numbers I discussed in July of 2022 are also present in this news story. Grayson Murray's full name, Grayson Colby Murray, gives us Sumerian Gematria of 1512. The Sumerian cipher is the alphabetic order, but multiplied by 6. This 1512 is the Latin value of Colonial National Invitation, which is the tournament Murray was playing at when he died. 1512 is also the standard Gematria of the number 44, which is really the primary number of the kill code, as kill equals 44 in the alphabetic order. But I want to start off talking about this connection to Liv Morgan. Now, what makes this so interesting is that the Liv Golf League is also called a tour, right? It's the Liv Golf Tour. And going into this match this weekend, Liv Morgan was on the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour, which is shown here on her ring gear. And it just so happens that this event, King and Queen of the Ring, was held in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Well, Saudi Arabia is the country that created the Liv Golf League. Earlier this year, Liv Golf had a tournament in the city of Jeddah back in March. Also, one of the 3 golfers who were demoted or relegated from the Liv Golf Tour this year was named Jediah Morgan. And we'll see how the numerology syncs up perfectly with Liv Morgan winning the title in Jeddah. Now, what makes this even more intriguing is that Jediah Morgan is Australian. Well, the WWE has an Australian male wrestler who goes by the name of Grayson, the same first name of the golfer who died. So already we're treading into significant coincidence territory, but as always, these amazing coincidences also sync up by the numbers. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to explain how this is also connected to the numerology of the moon. And I've talked about this several times in the past. People with the name Grayson are connected to the moon. Think about how the word moon has the same gematria as gray, which is, of course, the color of the moon, both summing to 57, 51, and 21. In the reverse alphabetic order, the moon sums to 99. Grayson Murray died exactly 99 weeks after Liv Morgan won her first world championship at Money in the Bank in July of 2022. In both reduction methods, single reduction and reverse reduction, the name Grayson Colby Murray sums to 99. And his first name, Grayson, is also 99. In trigonal gematria, the last name Murray is 990. When you write out the number 99 as it's spelled, it equals 129 ordinal. Grayson Murray was born 1,290 days after Grayson Waller. Grayson Murray also died 129 days before his next birthday. Now remember, Grayson Waller, the WWE wrestler, that's not his real name. Same thing with Liv Morgan. These names are given to them when they enter the company. And hopefully this explains where these names come from, either coded to create synchronicity or as part of the forthcoming ritual. Grayson Waller's real name is Matthew Farrelly. And we're going to look at later at how Matthew, the name Matthew, also matches the moon. Grayson, Matthew, and the moon all equal 99 and 90 in gematria. But back to this 83, Matthew Farrelly, because this is connected to the Live Golf Tour, and Live Golf sums to 83. Measuring from the final day of the Live Golf tournament in Jeddah to the date that Grayson Murray died and Liv Morgan won the title in Jeddah was 83 days. In the reverse order, murder equals 83. This is another number connected to the moon and the eclipse code. The Live Golf tournament in Jeddah earlier this year was won by a Chilean golfer named Joaquin Niemann. When Grayson Colby Murray died, Joaquin Niemann was 25 years and 200 days old. And in the alphabetic order, Grayson Colby Murray sums to 252. But of course, there's more. Wrestler Grayson Waller from Australia was born on the date leaving 285 days in the year. His countrymate, Jediah Morgan, his name sums to 285, and he was born 285 weeks after Liv Morgan. So we see the 285 weeks here, but there's actually another strong connection with this, because this is also exactly 5 years and 25 weeks. Well, there's another significant form of gematria called satanic, which is centered around the number 666. In the satanic method of gematria, Jediah Morgan equals 525. 525, like May 25th, the date that Murray died, and Liv Morgan won the Women's World Championship. The name Jediah Morgan also sums to 60 and 66. Now, if you saw my video on Morgan Spurlock, you saw how this was completely coded around the numbers 666, as shown even in this film preview there. Well, Jediah Morgan was born 6 years and 60 days after Grayson Murray. And not only does Jediah Morgan equal 66, but the last name Murray also equals 66. Now, the name Murray also equals 33, and later on I'm going to come back to this, because there's a significant riddle with 33 in the sacrifice code. But first, let's go back to Morgan Spurlock, because there are a tremendous amount of synchronicities by the numbers with Spurlock as well. Now, the man who announced the death of Grayson Murray was PGA Commissioner Monahan. Now, Monahan has a wild amount of connections to Morgan Spurlock. Before I point those out, in my video on Charlie Collin, the former bassist of Train, I pointed out how his death was connected to the lead singer of the band Train, whose name is Pat Monahan. And then just a couple days later, we get a significant death announced by Monahan. So, look at the date that Monahan was born. First of all, he was born in 1970, which is the same year as Morgan Spurlock. Well, Morgan Spurlock was best known for his film Super Size Me. Super Size Me was released on May 7th, which is the birthday of Monahan, May 7th. The name Monahan has the same 921 gematria in standard as the name Morgan Spurlock. So Morgan Spurlock, an important number to him is 30. In Super Size Me, he spends 30 days eating nothing but McDonald's. And this would earn him a reality show on television called 30 Days. Well, Grayson Murray passed away at the age of 30. And he shares the letter M to start his name with Morgan, right? Well, notice how M has Latin gematria of 30, just like a letter M in reduction. The name Monahan, also 30. But this is where the synchronicities get out of control. The name Morgan Spurlock has the same 195 gematria as McDonald's mogul Raymond Albert Kroc, which is a fact I explored in my video. Well, now we get the death of Grayson Murray, whose name sums to 195. Not only was Grayson Murray born exactly 1,195 weeks after Morgan Spurlock, but when he died, he was 11,195 days old. Grayson Murray was also born a span of 195 days after Grayson Waller's birthday, the WWE star. Murray's death was also 237 days after his birthday. This is the ordinal value of 195. So let's talk a little bit about the moon once again. So as I pointed out earlier, the name Grayson is connected to the moon, which is gray. But another interesting fact about this is how this connects to the Metonic Cycle. What I believe is the most significant cycle of the moon is this 19-year cycle that syncs up perfectly with 235 lunar phases. Now, 235 was also the gematria of Morgan Spurlock, and he died on the 23rd of May. In Latin Gematria, the phrase Metonic Cycle equals 668, just like the name Grayson. On the date Grayson died, PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan was 668 lunar phases old. This is something I pointed out last year. When the Milwaukee Bucks were 668 months old when they traded away Grayson Allen to the Trailblazers. Another Grayson. Using prime numbers, WWE King and Queen of the Ring, the name of the event, sums to 668. Using capital letters, where the capital numbers, or excuse me, the capital letters are mixed in with the small, numbered 1 through 52. The name Grayson equals 197, which matches Metonic Cycle, 19 years, 13th month, and 13. And if you think about the Metonic Cycle, on the lunisolar calendar, every 19 years, 7 of them have a 13th month. Earlier this year, Grayson Murray won the Sony Open in Hawaii, his second ever PGA tournament win. Sony Open in Hawaii equals 197 and 235, which, as I just mentioned, is the other number of the Metonic Cycle. He died at the Colonial, which sums to 235 like Morgan Spurlock. But back to the number 19, which is the length of the Metonic Cycle. Grayson Murray died exactly 19 weeks after winning the Sony Open. 19 was a number found in the full name Gematria, Morgan Valentine Spurlock. His name is 1090. By the way, Morgan Spurlock's middle name, something I missed in my last video, is that his name is Valentine. And if you measure from Valentine's Day to his death, you get 99 days. Well, he died on the date 5/23, and 5/23 is the 99th prime number. As pointed out earlier, Grayson, Colby, Murray, Grayson, and Murray all have the 99 Gematria. Grayson also died 33 weeks and 6 days after his birthday, and he died during the Charles Schwab Challenge. The name Schwab equals 336. Spurlock has matching 336 Gematria with Ray Kroc. And 336 was the number that connected all the films that were involved. Again, see my video if you haven't already. It's really good. But notice how Grayson's death also fell a span of 66 days before Charles Schwab's birthday. Dead at the Charles Schwab Challenge. 66, the value of Murray, Morgan Spurlock, Golden Arches, French fries, all 66. In fact, Morgan Spurlock was born 6 lunar phases and 6 days after PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan, whose name sums to 66 like golf with caps. Murray's death was also a span of 66 days after Grayson Waller's birthday. Charles Schwab Challenge, the name of the tournament, also sums to 990, just like Murray's full name. And again, when you write out 99, it's 129, which provides the link to the wrestler. And Morgan Spurlock's full name is also 129. And look at all the connections that McDonald's Corporation has to Charles Schwab. This video explores the corporate numerology of McDonald's and Ray Kroc and how important that was. And Charles Schwab is another big corporation that has matching gematria with McDonald's across the board. even with golden arches when you write it out. All right, so let's come back to this 33, which is very significant in this whole riddle. Now, the name Murray in reduction sums to 33. Earlier this year, the LIV Golf Tour finished their tournament in Jeddah on March 3rd, or 3-3, as it's written worldwide. Grayson Murray had birth numerology of 33. Jediah Morgan also has 33 numerology. And the tournament in Jeddah ended 3 months and 3 days after Jediah Morgan's birthday. Well, Jediah was born 3 weeks and 3 days after the birthday of Joaquin Niemann, the winner of that tournament. 33, a number connected to ritual human sacrifice. Both, when spelled out, equal 895. Ritual sacrifice on its own equals 616. And the winner of that tournament on 3-3 was born 61 months and 6 days after Grayson Murray. So that's the Latin value of ritual sacrifice, but what about the ordinal numbers? Well, in the alphabetic order, ritual sacrifice equals 154. That March 3rd date was 154 days after Grayson Murray's birthday. Grayson Waller was born 1,540 days before Liv Morgan, a fellow WWE superstar. Notice how Liv was also born 251 days after Grayson Murray. Well, in reverse, ritual sacrifice is 251. Grayson Murray was 2,251 days older than Jediah Morgan. And when Liv Morgan won her first championship in 2022, as I pointed out back then, she was 10,251 days old. 251 is the 54th prime number. And the whole reason it's called the LIV Golf Tournament is because they play 54 holes. And in Roman numerals, LIV, L-I-V, is 54. The phrase ritual human sacrifice equals 911. And when you flip this number upside down, it's got a lot of matches to King and Queen of the Ring, which was held in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The name Grayson equals 116. The two Australians were born 116 months apart. The guy who won the tournament has birth numerology of 116. A lot of connections there, but the last thing I want to look at is how there's a skull and bones riddle embedded within all of this. Now, I pointed out a number of connections to 66 and 99, which essentially are the same numbers when flipped upside down. Well, 66 is very significant to the Skull and Bones Society, as Skull and Bones has matching Gematria with 66. The numbers on its emblem, 3 times 22, gives a product of 66. Another name for the Skull and Bones Society is the Brotherhood of Death. And of course, the reason Skull and Bones is so important right now is because Yale University, where it's headquartered, is 322 years old. And they turned 322 in 2023, like Skull and Crossbones. In the alphabetic order, the Brotherhood of Death equals 220. And Grayson Murray died on the date leaving 220 days in the year. With capital letters, J. Monahan and Golden Arches both have that 220. The two WWE stars that are connected here, notice how they were born exactly 220 weeks apart. The golf tournament in Jeddah was exactly 22 weeks after Grayson's birthday. The date he died has matching numerology with Skull and Bone Society, which is a Masonic order, but also the word killing, 74 and 38. 38, a wildly significant number to death, as seen in the Murder by Numbers poster, the 3 and the 8. On Yale's special anniversary last October, Grayson Murray was 30 years and 8 days old. His death fell 229 days after Yale's big anniversary. Morgan Spurlock's death made headlines a span of 229 days after the anniversary, and his name Spurlock is 229, matching both McDonald's Corporation and Charles Schwab, the two companies these deaths are connected to. That's the 50th prime number, and they both also have 50 Gematria, but the 229th verse of Revelation is where the number of the beast is revealed. Again, check out my last video for more on the beast riddle. The Brotherhood of Death has matching 724 Gematria with number of the beast. Grayson died 7 months and 24 days after his birthday, which is also 238 days. Well, 238 is a number of the moon, which is an average of 238,000 miles from Earth. Charles R. Schwab also has this Gematria, just like the number 666 in Latin. May 7th, which is the date that Super Size Me came out and the date that PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan was born, that's the date leaving 238 days in the year. Charles Schwab was 11,970 days old when Jay Monahan was born. That's the Latin value of 666, 1197. And check out the Yale connections between these two businessmen. They were born exactly 1,710 weeks apart, like the same 4 digits in the year Yale was founded. Their birthdays are also 282 days apart, and Yale was founded on the 282nd day of the year. Well, now, Jay Monahan is 2,820 weeks old, syncing up with the Brotherhood of Death in reverse Sumerian. The number 47 also connects Grayson Murray to this, which is a big number of the beast. The 4 beasts described in Revelation 4:7. So if you want to see more, these posts are linked down below in the description. As always, I recommend checking out my last video too, as it's all connected. In fact, it really does feel like almost all of my videos kind of bleed into another. You know, I talked about Ayrton Senna in this video, and then we get a Senna tribute the next video. I talked about the Tower in a couple of these videos, and then we get a big Tower riddle with Boston. So I could go on, but hopefully everyone checks out at least some of my videos and notes the strong elements of synchronicity that exist, as everything does. Now, after I'm done with this video, I'm going to do a blog post on the death of Bill Walton, a famous basketball player who passed away from cancer reportedly yesterday. And what made this so interesting is that I actually blogged about Bill Walton not that long ago. If you check out Superstream number 62 on my channel, you'll see I talked a little bit about the Waltons. Right, I have a thing on the Waltons here and how it's connected to the death of Matthew Perry through a riddle with the fountain. As the same fountain from Friends also appeared in an episode of The Waltons that took place in Paris, or Paris, And the death of Matthew Perry was all synced up to the Olympics in Paris this year, as Perry died in a bathtub, a lot like Jim Morrison, who died in a bathtub in Paris. Matthew Perry's stepdad's real name is Morrison. So again, a boatload of connections. Check out tomorrow for my video on Bill Walton. I'm sure I'll have a bunch of research done by then. But for now, that'll do it for this video. Peace, love, God bless. As always, check the links in the description for more, or if you'd like to help support the work as well. Much love to everyone out there. Once again, we'll talk to you next time. See ya.